Hello everyone, this is Cesar from CesarUSA.com. The purpose of this video is to provide a personal opinion about where it is safe to go to in Colombia. You know, there's a lot of tourists who want to come to Colombia but think twice because of past history of crime and guerrillas and all that stuff. So I want to give an updated information about what is happening in Colombia, things like that. Anyway, for those that do not know where Colombia is at, it's located in South America, in the top part, the northeast part of South America, next to Venezuela and Ecuador and Brazil. I mean, it's near several other countries such as Ecuador, Brazil, Venezuela, and so on, and Peru. Those are the nearby countries. It's next to Panama. But Panama used to belong to Colombia. They separated. Uh, there's the channel of Panama where a lot of ships go through to go to the other side of the sea, from here, there, or there, here. There is a thought that maybe eventually we will build another channel over here to be able for larger ships to cross Colombia, because there is a limit on the size that of ships to go through. They don't want to go around. You know, I mean, it would be a major trip to go down South America to go to the side. That's why they use Panama. But for the huge ships, they may not. Some of them are not able to go through Panama because there is a limit on the ship size that they could go through. Okay, there was a thought of maybe I think in Nicaragua they were going to build one, but they haven't done one of those crossings. Anyway, if I want to see a bigger picture, here's United States, Mexico, Guatemala, Nicaragua, and so on, El Salvador, things like that. They're over here, Cuba, Puerto Rico, which belongs to the United States, as you know. Okay, since we are talking about Colombia, is near the equator, so the climate is not too cold. It's rather medium. Except for the mountains can get cold. I mean, because of their higher altitude. So it has the multitude of climates. For example, it's hot on this area over here. It's the same for Venezuela. All of this area over here is hot. You know, this is the Cartagena. Barranquilla is even hotter. Rio Hacha, Monteria, all of this is high temperatures for those who love the sea and love the beach. They will enjoy this part over here. This is even hotter. Here. Anyway, here's the crossing to Panama. The Tapón del Darién, which is selvatic, is pretty hard to cross. There is some guerrillas there, so it's not safe to cross by foot. A lot of immigrants who want to go to the United States, they walk this way, but it's very unsafe. People have died crossing. So what some people do is they take a boat and cross by boat instead of just by land. And then they do whatever, they take a bus or whatever, and they keep going. But those who cannot afford it, they walk. For example, people that come from Venezuela, they will cross maybe Cucuta or somewhere around here, and they go this way. All right. Here's Medellin, very popular, one of, I would say, the most popular destination in Colombia, along with Cartagena. Those are the most popular destinations, maybe Cartagena's even more. So you will see a lot of tourists coming to these two cities. Cartagena is small, in my opinion. It does have a coastal area that is very popular. It has a lot of hotels, buildings where a lot of people rent for a few days. Outside of the mural city, a city that looks like a fortress, it has a lot of shops inside, restaurants, or you name it, it's there. It's a lot of fun. But outside of the mural city, there is more of that, more cities, but I mean more areas that you could visit. For example, near the airport, there's a place that you could stay, and it's safe. But if you venture farther out, then you may have trouble with regards to safety because there's a lot of poverty, and then there will be more crime, especially like in motorcycles. People drive motorcycles and then stopping and you know robbing people. So normally it's better to stay in safer areas. Here in the Castle Felipe, San Felipe de Barajas. It's very nice, a very attractive place to go to. It's a little expensive to get into. Um, there's a lot of places that you can walk here and enjoy. Go to the beach and stuff like that. Here's the airport, hotels, La Boquilla, all of that stuff is good to visit. You know, um, and have a lot of fun. The trip to Santa Marta is by land is a little far. Some people arrive in Cartagena, stay in Cartagena. Some people may decide to go to Barranquilla. Barranquilla is even hotter. I have not been there yet. I have been in Santa Marta and Cartagena, but in separate trips. I haven't taken the bus all the way up here, several hours. Um, but it's your choice. Santa Marta is nice. It's less populated. It's hot also. There's a rodadero where you can stay. You can visit the coastal area, stay in one of those hotels, and it's fine, and it's pretty safe in general. And then you can go in a bus to go to an area where the buses leave and go to other areas. Okay, Tanga is a very popular destination, and it's nice, beautiful. You basically need to spend a couple of days there because there's a lot of walking involved to really walk through the different beautiful areas that they have. I mean, I took a bus and go up in the mountains. I mean, to a river and things like that. A river that takes you to the where the two seas meet. I I didn't reach there that, but anyway, I did had a lot of fun in Santa Marta. I stayed at Rodadero, but I did take a bus and actually explore the mountains because the good thing about Santa Marta is that it has the mountain area and the beach area, so you could have both. So you want to feel the cold instead of the heat. When I kind of take a break from the heat, you can go to the mountains instead. Anyway, um, so it's not in general it's safe to go to the cities. There are other coastal areas, the Necoclí and things like that, Capurganá. Those are areas where people cross um, to go towards Panama and go up and up. Um, but it's not. It's a lot of immigrants, so there will be a lot of people that are just being there temporarily. So there may be some safety issues there because a lot of people that they're not from there, they're just temporarily there and they may be desperate for money. Coveñas is a very popular destination for tourists. It's smaller than Cartagena, way smaller, but some people pay a trip from Medellin all the way to Coveñas and spend a few days there, maybe a couple of days. So they will take a long drive there, maybe a bus or a tour, and they will take you there. Okay, Bogota. I used to live there. I actually liked the weather there because it was cold and fresh, but it could get pretty cold, especially at night. So you need a jacket, things like that, for the cold because it gets pretty cold. In centigrades, we sometimes could be 17 degrees centigrade. So it could be 45, 50 degrees, things like that, or cooler. So you could visit Bogota, but it's not too safe. It's less safe than Medellin. The problem with Bogota is that it's so huge. This is pretty big, and there are some areas that there's a lot of crime, especially at night, but it could be during the day. A lot of people like to go to Monserrate. In Spanish, will be Monserrate. It's a mountain where you can see the city from here. But in the areas around it could be unsafe or is unsafe. I mean, it could happen. They could attack tourists. So you may better just to go straight to the Monserrate and take the tram all the way up. There's a way to actually you can walk up the mountain, but the route if you walk it could be unsafe because sometimes there are robbers and it may rob multiple people at once. So it's not safe to walk up. Instead, take the tram. Just make the line, pay the fee, and then you take the tram and you walk up. In Maserati, there are shops there over there, and these are charged, things like that. So it's a good tourist destination. Bogota, you could visit the downtown, um, but just do not carry expensive stuff like cameras, expensive cellular phones, a lot of cash, things like that, because you don't want to be robbed during the daytime. So just carry the bare essentials, the money for food, money to buy a few souvenirs, maybe carry or buy a cheap phone. There are phones as cheap as maybe $30, $40 that have WhatsApp, and just use the local phone. You can buy a very inexpensive SIM card that you could put in on the cell phone, and then you can make local calls to the hotel or whatever you want to call it, or do WhatsApp on your local phone. And then you can sell it or give it away, whatever you want to, or keep it for next trip. And I mean, you can charge it. They sell minutes. You can charge a plan for days. Let's say you want to buy a package for 2 days or 5 days, the number of days that you need. They even sell for a month, and it's pretty inexpensive. It could be 20, 30, 40,000 depending on the plan that you're buying. You could get one, for example, at Éxito supermarket. They sell SIM cards that you can just put it on the phone and buy some minutes, a package as little as 3,500 pesos, which is cents, not even a dollar for 2 days, or 6,500 for 6 days, which is a dollar and change, $1.50, $1.60, something like that, depending on the dollar currency exchange. And then you could have a cell phone and take pictures with the cell phone, things like that, instead of carrying an iPhone or something expensive on the street and be robbed or taken out. It could be stolen at somewhere. Anyway, the airport, let me just look it up in the map. It has Fontibon as a place that I was interested in, but I was told that it's not safe at night. One night I spent a few hours there waiting for my next plane to the United States. So what I did is I stayed in a nearby hotel because I had to get up early. I think I arrived like at 11 o'clock at night, something like that, from another city. So I actually decided to stay at Fontibon, and I actually took a taxi at the airport. I arrived at the airport. I had booked a hotel at Fontibon, so I brought my things to Fontibon, stayed at a residential house, a residential space. They were renting rooms. I left my stuff there. I think I remember if I did it backwards, but anyway, no, actually, I think I went straight to downtown, and I actually made a trip by taxi all the way downtown, and yeah, somewhere around here. And then kind of have him drive around to get to see the city, and then take me back to Fontibon. I think I arrived like one in the morning. I remember what time, and I had to get up like at 4 or 5 to take a plane. So I only slept a few hours, and then I took a plane. Anyway, so Bogota is not too safe. I heard that it's not so safe in Kennedy. I have stayed in a hotel in, let me see if I find it in the map. Um, Around here downtown. So let me see if I find the location because I haven't seen the map in a long time. I haven't been in Bogota for a long time. Santa Fe. Anyway, downtown. There is an area that you can stay that is somewhat safe, but it's very popular. I don't see it here in the map. Maybe I have to enlarge it more. But anyway, downtown, very touristic. Just do not carry expensive stuff. If they see that you're not carrying expensive stuff, they probably leave you. They will leave you normally alone. Okay, so do not carry a lot of cash. Okay, stay in a safe hotel, a good hotel. It doesn't have to be extremely expensive, but something that maybe has a safe. Hopefully, will have a safe. Hopefully, has a you know a good, what you're looking for. Yeah, they have a lot of hotels. Anyways, Bogota, issues with safety. You could visit it still, but just be careful. Medellin is safer, in my opinion, way safer. Uh, it does have a lot of tourists from many countries. There is there are tour guides that will show you around in groups. So it's better you take a guided tour. We actually provide tour guides if you need to get one, a tour. They will accompany you, maybe take you to the Cerrito Paisa, they will take you to Parque Berrio. Parque Berrio is not safe, mm, but I mean, still a lot of people go there. I mean, it's not too safe because it's a lot of poor people that hang around, the homeless people, things like that. There's police, but I mean, it's not 100% safe. It's a lot of sex tourism in downtown. Be careful. Those people who like to do sex tourism, be careful. You could get a illness, contagious disease. Some people do not like to use protection condoms, and then they could get infected. You don't want to get infected, or they do sex tourism with minors. The jail timing here in Colombia for sex with a minor is many years. A large number of years in jail. You don't want to be in a jail in Colombia with a lot of pretty bad guys. So you don't want to do that. And San Diego, this is the an area that where you could take a bus to the airport, or the airport bring you in a bus. Yes, yeah, bus drop you off here, and then you take another whatever taxi or whatever to your hotel. Let me see if I find in the map Candelaria. Yeah, this is downtown Candelaria. That's where a lot of tourists go. Parque Bolívar is not very safe. Some tourists go there. I mean, it's a lot of people, but it's not too safe there. Parque Berrio, a lot of tourists go there. They go to La Vera Cruz. It's not safe to go there. It's a few blocks, 3, 4 blocks. There are a lot of videos about La Vera Cruz in YouTube from different Americans who make videos. They get a lot of visitors, but it's not safe to hang around in there. Prado Central, which is around here, is even unsafe, less safe. It's very unsafe to go. But to Prado, here's Plaza Botero. A lot of people go there. A lot of tourists. I mean, you could go, but just be careful. Do not carry expensive cameras, jewelry, watches, things like that. You don't want to be robbed or things like that. Yeah, this area over here is very dangerous. This area over here, the dangerous Prado Centro. It's called Prado Centro. Here is the metro. I mean, some people get off here and walk this way, but it's very unsafe. It's better to get off here in Parque Berrio, which is not safe, but it is even less safe. It's a lot of homeless people, a lot of drug addicts in this area. You don't want to get off there, especially if you're alone. You don't want to be attacked or whatever. I mean, you could walk and stuff like that, but you're taking a chance. Some people get off at San Antonio. A lot of people in there. This is pretty crowded. This area here, all of this area is very crowded. A lot of people, but you never know. Uh, Something could happen. You know, most people, most tourists go to El Poblado. Here they go, they go El Poblado. Here is Parque El Poblado. There are two parks. There is the Poblado Park, Parque El Poblado, and there is the Lleras Park, which is a little farther up. You can walk from one to the other. I mean, you can get off at the metro and walk over here. I mean, you could do that, but it's not extremely safe. I mean, because this is walking is not safe in general because you are susceptible to anybody approaching you. In general, overall, Medellin is pretty decent in regards to safety. I mean, normally you could even walk at night, but I don't recommend staying up out at night, especially downtown. A lot of businesses close at night. Say 7, they're closing already. And police, the number of police instead of increasing actually decreases at night. So do your things during the day. If you want to go out to a nightclub or things like that, try to go in groups. It's safer that way. So always think safety. You know, be walking in lonely streets with expensive stuff or a lot of cash. I mean, if they rob you, you don't want to lose a lot of money. But in general, Medellin is safe, even safer during the day. So you could go to Lleras Park. There's a good number of police there, Parque Lleras. They actually improved it. It's nicer now. A little lonely in some areas. Provenza is very popular now. It has a lot of restaurants, a lot of people. There are nightclubs, you name it, is here. So it gets pretty crowded, especially on the weekends. During the day, Parque Lleras is kind of lonely, so they get pretty good at night. At night, especially later at night, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's when it gets pretty crowded. Especially Provenza is getting crowded. But you don't want to go up, the lonelier areas, because there's not much going on in there. Some people actually may decide to. This is good area, all of this one. They may decide to get a place to rent, an Airbnb, and then they take a taxi to Provenza, Parquilleras, or they rent somewhere around here somewhere, and then they take a taxi or walk down and maybe take a taxi back up, or maybe they rent around here someplace or here somewhere in El Poblado. This is El Tesoro is a good area. There's a shopping center that is pretty large. Uh, yeah, El Tesoro Parque Comercial. That's the El Tesoro Shopping Center. There's a lot of good places to look at. You can go in a taxi or an Airbnb. I mean, not in Airbnb, an Uber or Didi, and just have them take you places. This is another large shopping center, Santa Fe Shopping Center. This is a nice museum. It's a castle, the Castle Museum, Museo del Castillo. They have hours of operation. They are not open 24. They have a particular. You may want to schedule or find out if they are open and things like that. It's pretty nice to visit. You could spend a day there or half a day in there. This is a well-known university, a FIT university. Some people take Spanish classes or English classes in this university. They have private. It's a private university. This is a nice area over here. Aguacatala is a metro. You can take the metro to Aguacatala and maybe, take a taxi and look around. Jumbo, Las Vegas, this area, all of these ones are good areas. All of these ones are good areas. Viva Envigado is another large shopping center, for those who like shopping centers. Confama is an organization that is a non-profit that actually has several recreational centers in different locations that you can pay for a low amount. You can have a nice day they will have a swimming pool and other recreational activities. This is another stop, which is the Envigado area, which is nice. You can rent a car and drive all of this and stop at different locations, get off at shopping centers, get to know the city. Some people love it so much that they decide to come back or even eventually buy something in Medellin. This is also Éxito. This is a well-known supermarket. This is another shopping center. Mallorca is not as big as the other ones, but it's next a to a metro station, very close to a metro station. So all of these ones, you can go to Estrella. Well, Estrella is not as big. It's actually not part of Medellin. It's a separate municipality. And then I think this is the last stop in the metro. So you can take the metro from here all the way to Bello, which is at the other extreme of the city. Um, yeah, so normally the south is the nicer part of the city. The north is a little lesser. There's the Botanic Garden past the downtown. Uh, uh, it's not a major, I mean, it's large, but it's not, except for trees, there's not a whole lot to see there. There's a huge, very nice stadium, the Atanasio Girardot, where they have some major events, sports events. This is pretty recent, a few years that they built it. So you can actually take the metro, go to Bello. Bello is not as safe, it's less safe. But you could get off, for example, the Nikia metro station and go to the Puerta del Norte shopping center. Is not too large, it's not a lot to see there. I mean, it's just a smaller shopping center. Some people get off, walk a little bit around to eat something outside. But don't venture too far over here because it's not extremely safe. It's not too. Especially at night, but during the day you can. But it's not extremely safe. Copacabana is haven't been there. It's a small city. Um, hmm, it's just a regular city, no huge things to do there. Some people take the metro and go to the metro cables. Those are pretty nice touristic attractions. They will go to what is it called? The RV park. So there's an actually metro cable that will take you all the way to RV park. So they will take just change metro and go to this one and have to pay a fee and then you can walk in the park. This is a lot of walking because it's a pretty large park and they have some nice things over there. I haven't been there yet, but I heard it's pretty nice. Some people take the bus in what is it called? San Diego, and they will take a trip to Rio Negro by bus. It's not too expensive. Or they will get a car and they will go. This is the international airport. When you arrive here, you may need to take a taxi. It's maybe 100,000 pesos, whatever they agree with you. Or you can take a microbus for maybe 13, 15,000 pesos or something like that, and they will drop you off in near downtown. So it would be less expensive. You just take a microbus and go there. Here's Rio Negro. It's pretty growing, but it's not. I mean, there are souvenirs, things like that nearby. So in some areas, on the way to Rio Negro, actually they sell souvenirs. I actually have been in downtown. I don't think I have been in downtown Rio Negro, but in places on the way there, in Sabaneta. Some people take buses, go to Marinilla. I do recommend highly to El Peñol. It's a pretty safe city. Not Peñol, Guatapé is pretty safe. This has a huge artificial lake, and then you can get an Airbnb. Actually, we provide Airbnb service for Guatapé. You can rent a house and stay there, and actually you may get a jacuzzi. I mean, we provide service like that. Jacuzzi, lake view, like a walking distance for the lake, to the lake. or you can go to the border of Guatapé. I mean, you can go to the touristic area of Guatapé and actually rent a boat that would. I mean, it would have a boat with multiple people that would show you around and would show you the area where Pablo Escobar used to live. Just they will just go by, but they don't actually stop and get off at the Pablo Escobar area. I had to locate it in the map. I don't know where it is. This is a huge, pretty huge area. This is the Confama Park. If you could pay some money and then get into the into the park and actually go to the swimming pool and eat there and things like that. El Peñón is very nice. It's a huge rock. It's several maybe like yeah, maybe I don't know, 8 floors, something like that. You can actually walk up the rock, and there is something on top. I haven't actually walked up there. I mean, I have been El Peñol, but not actually walk up the mountain. It's a lot of steps going up there. I didn't see the need because actually at the bottom there is a huge, very nice view of the area. You don't really need to go up the mountain. Now here's the rock. Here it is. These are stairs that will take you up all the way there, and then it's I don't know if it is a hotel or what is it there. It shouldn't be too big. It's probably a shop. So some people will start walking all the way up here and then get there. So yeah, it's very nice to stop at El Peñol and then go to Guatapé and stay at Guatapé. We also have Airbnb at the opposite side. This is cold. This is cold temperature, not extremely cold. It's pretty, and during the day it's nice and warm. During the night you get a little cold, so you may need a heater, space heater, small heater. Or at the hotel they can give you a heater or they provide a heater. The opposite side we provide that will be the eastern side, but there is another area that you can visit, which is Sopetran. We provide Airbnb in Sopetran. So this is the opposite. This is for hotter temperatures, but it's not extremely hot. Sopetran itself is hot, but the location that we're talking about is not so. It's lesser hot. It's in the mountain, but the actual Sopetran is kind of hot. You could also visit Santa Fe de Antioquia, which is nice. Especially those people who bought or buy a property there. A lot of those properties have a lot of pools, not only one but multiple pools in some of those places. Could be 10 pools or whatever that belong to the community. Anyway, you could actually make a trip to Manizales and Pereira. Manizales is an area that is kind of high in the mountain. It's cold. The good thing about it is, I mean, those people who want to study, it's a pretty school intensive. I mean, it has several universities there. A lot of students go and stay in Manizales and to study at one of those universities. Pereira is nice, smaller than Medellin, but it's a good city to visit. It's near Santa Rosa de Cabal. It's a few minutes away. And near Santa Rosa de Cabal, there are the hot springs, thermales. There are two of them that I know that are very beautiful. You shouldn't miss it. So if you go to Pereira, do not forget to go to thermales. There are tours that will take you there. Or you can maybe go to Santa Rosa Cabal and maybe take a taxi. Try to be early. And you can actually stay there at night, and the springs are hot, but the weather outside is kind of a little bit cold. So bring something for the cold. Saying they have a restaurant there. It's beautiful. So in general, it's very safe, but there are some areas that are not, like the 12. Some areas there that are some parks are not too safe. For example, the Liberty Park, the Parque Libertad is not safe, not too safe, but overall, Pereira is a safe city. Just some areas close to the bridge. There's a bridge that will take you to Santa Rosa and Dos Quebradas. That a little bit before that, yeah, Dos Quebradas. Plaza Bolivar is not, I mean, it's a very touristic attraction, but it's not extremely safe. I mean, he has police there, and in general, you can walk around, things like that, stay at one of those hotels nearby. Linares is a very nice area to visit. You know, some people may want to go to the stadium. He has the airport, so you may take uh, arrive here and then maybe take a taxi to downtown and maybe rent a room in a hotel in downtown. But it's not too safe to go out at night. You can, but it's not too safe because something could happen. You know what I'm saying? So, but daytime in Colombia in general is safe in larger cities. So, or somewhat safe depending on the area. So you see a lot of homeless, you see a lot of things going on. You know, maybe take a taxi and leave. You know what I'm saying? Other parts of Colombia, well, Cartago, temperature here is pretty hot. There is, I mean, I've been there. There is a couple of, well, at least one that I know of, there is a nice recreational area with pools, but it gets extremely hot. Temperature at the city itself is not too safe. Uh, not, it's a small city. Boga used to be safe, but I think it has loosened. Some of the safety has become a little bit less safe. Buga La Grande, this is Tuluá. I don't think it's too safe, Buga. In general, the city is safe, but some areas are not too safe. But overall, it's safe, especially downtown is okay. I mean, you can walk, do some tourism there. There is a church that a lot of people go there. You know, I mean, yeah, I mean, general overall, Buga safe. It's kind of hot in temperature. Um, but you know, taxes are pretty inexpensive. You know, very, very, very inexpensive. Cali, I mean, overall, I don't think it's safe. But me, I haven't been there. Cali is not too safe. It's touristic. I mean, there's a lot of nightclubs, a lot of people dancing, salsa, things like that. But overall, Cali is not overall it's not too safe or not safe. It's a lot of crime, so I don't think it's not the best place to go. I'd rather go to Medellin or Cartagena because there are some issues with safety. Buenaventura, I do not recommend it for regard to safety. There's a lot of situations going on there. I do not recommend it. Pardon me to those who live there. Popayan, I have not been there. I have gone to Ecuador. It's a pretty long trip to go to the border by bus. You may be, you probably would better get off at Ipiales and then you take a cross and actually get your paper stamped, and then you can take a bus to Quito. Quito is very beautiful, very nice. It has a lot of antique houses from the colony area. The weather is pretty cold, especially at night. During the day, it's nice and fresh, sunny in many occasions, but it could get pretty rain pretty often. Could be pretty intensive rain. Night extremely cold to very, very cold. It has a lot of nightclubs in the touristic area. But it's very beautiful to visit. I mean, I do extremely recommend visiting Quito. I thought of going to Manta when I went to Manta. Guayaquil is the capital of Ecuador. No, Quito is the capital. Guayaquil is pretty large. I think Quito, I forgot. Guayaquil is pretty, I think it's not safe to go there. I was told that it's not safe to go to Guayaquil. Quito is the capital. Guayaquil is very, it's larger, a lot more things to do, but it's hotter. I was told that it's not safe to go there. So I do not recommend it too much. I mean, you can go, but not past is nice, but I have been there. Um, and that's here. This area over here is pretty much the Amazon area of Colombia. Um, there's gorilla spread scattered all over the place. So you don't know when they are the 1 minute from to another. They keep moving. So it's kind of there, and the area because it's so large, it's pretty large to pretty difficult to control. You know, there's a lot of things that could be happening. I mean, it's guerrilla people. Guerrilla could be at the border, so they could move to Venezuela, so they can be arrested. So a lot of a lot of things are by the border. There are rivers, there are things like that, and they just take the river up and down. Cucuta is the border that is most frequently used to cross to Venezuela. Mérida is a pretty nice city. Called there is the Bolivar Peak, which is you take the metro cable and it will take you all the way up there, and you could get headaches because you have to do it in stages because it goes so high up in the mountain that you don't get as much air in your lungs. So you gotta stop at the stages and kind of get the body accustomed to the height, and eventually you may reach the peak. Barinas is pretty hot, so this is cold and very hot. Barquisimeto is pretty hot. Valencia is kind of hot. But Caracas is the capital of Venezuela. The situation has improved, but it's not. I mean, the city is beautiful, nice things to go there, a nice city to live in. It's just that some situations with the government that makes it difficult to live in Venezuela because of the issues with the gasoline. This difficulty sometimes to get gasoline. You have to make these huge lines waiting in the car to get your chance to fill up the tank. Or water shortages from time to time, things like that. Hopefully, eventually this um, situation gets resolved. Maracaibo is extremely hot, very hot. Yeah. So Caracol is very hot. There are dunes there. It's like the little bit desert there, deserted. Um, there is the waterfalls in Venezuela and Canaima that are beautiful. The largest, the tallest waterfall in the world is there in Venezuela. Brazil is huge, so it'll be kind of most people go to the coast and stay at the uh, um, touristic areas. I haven't been in Brazil yet. Sao Paulo, Rio de Janeiro, the most popular destinations. Um, Maybe one day I will go there. But there are a lot of issues with safety. A lot of people going for the carnival in February. I haven't been in Paraguay. Um, so I think that's kind of an overview. I haven't been in Cuba. I have been in Puerto Rico, kind of hot. I have been here in Baja California, very nice, very beautiful. San Diego is nice. I thought of buying a place to live in San Diego, never did. I actually thought of buying a place somewhere out here, but there are some limitations in buying coastal areas or things like that by the Mexican government. Okay, I could talk many things about many things. So if you have any questions, let me know. Here's my website, csarusa.com. I do have several contact pages. So just send me a message. We have emails. You can use this one. There's another one, CUSA interesting. There's another one, interesting at gmail.com. You can send me an email. If you want to come to Colombia, want to rent an Airbnb, let me know and I help you book it. Here is my Colombian cellular phones. I have the Instagram account CUSAINT_modeling at Instagram. The YouTube channel CUSA space INT and Facebook. Modelaje Cesar USA sorry, it's CUSAINT at YouTube, and Facebook Modelaje Cesar USA at Facebook. Okay. We have multiple domain names such as cesarinternational.com, cusaint.com, and cesarusa.com. And we also provide real estate services in Medellin. You want to buy a property in Medellin, especially used one, we can help you with that. We have agents that already work for major agencies that sell real estate. We do translation, interpreting, and provide guides for travelers, tour guides. So we can do computerized translations. They may not be perfect. I mean, we use computers that do translation. They are not perfect, but I could give you a very quick look at documents that are written in a different language. Or we can do interpreters. So you just want to do a video conference and you need an interpreter to speak with someone you met in Colombia, because that's where we are at. You can have an interpreter translate for you, do the interpreting. Okay. We also do proofreading. Let's say you have a document that has errors, you don't know where they are. You can use the spell checker in your computer, or we can have us kind of take a look at your resume or whatever and give you some tips. You do have a lot of several Facebook pages, such as Oahu Real Estate Hawaii, HI, which is Hawaii, because we do provide real estate in Hawaii. Also, we provide realtor services in California. It's a funny sandals. Anyway, we do translations. Here is a translation from Google. We were talking about actually translated from Spanish to English. And then I actually use that information for something I'm doing. Okay, we also do technical translations for different things. So we can help you with that. All right, so let me know if you need anything that I can help you with. Take care. Goodbye.